Well, there was one other match this week. Kenny Omega versus El Hijo Del Vikingo on AEW Dynamite.
Ooh,
Woo! Like
yeah,
just no words to describe it. A very like just obviously physically amazing match.
yeah.
And then when I was watching it, I am not a person who like watches wrestling and then gets freaked out by what they do or anything, but there was that one hurricane off the top rope. I thought that was Kenny Omega's last bump. Like he
I
came
thought he broke his
straight
neck.
down. I thought he
I,
broke
I,
his neck,
I yeah, same here.
and I was like,
I was
"Well,"
horrified.
I watched like about like 3 more minutes of him moving around, and I was like, "That's why we lift weights, baby." And he was back up. So like like all this is the best bout machine. Had it right, but Vikingo just comes in on one night. Oh, just loses his goddamn mind. You know,
I
What
call that
also
I've
should be
never
mentioned.
seen that before match because every 3 seconds I felt like I was like, I've never seen that before. I've never seen that before. How did he do that? And I'm just like, that was everything in that match. And it was just like Kenny Omega, man. He's like, hey, do your shit. What do you got?
Yeah,
Do it. Dude,
yeah.
do it.
So I made the joke last week that I was when like when Vikingo does an inverted 630 off the top rope to the floor, like what are they gonna say then? Like he didn't do an inverted 630, but he did do a running double jump 630 through the table on the floor. And like when you talk about the danger from that camera angle, the first thing I thought was, did he just bang his head on the apron when it happened? I don't, dude. Anybody see a replay to see if that happened or not? I don't know, but it was
I don't
very
know.
close if he didn't. Yeah, I was the whole time I was like, did he bust his head too after like Kenny just nearly broke his neck? And I'm like, man, they're really putting a lot into this match. And I thought that for a lucha match, like Rey Mysterio, like in 2018, kind of not mastered this, figured it out, but it's like if you watch Rey Mysterio 2018 like the Andrade stuff he was doing, is like he's doing all of his big stuff with this much stuff to link it all together in the way that people like their pro wrestling in the way that they say they like it, right? But the thing is, he's laying down and selling between the big moves, and this is like the closest example of like a Kenny Omega match with a luchador where this happened in that way. Like normal, like the matches with like Laredo Kid or with Ray Phoenix were way more faster paced than this and had way more kinetic tissue between all the stuff. But the big moves told the story of this because they sold their asses off. Whether and like I don't know if anybody has said like this is some bullshit atrocity match. All it is head scissors and flips and that kind of stuff. Like the people talk about Rey Mysterio back on mission boards back in the 90s, but like this was like exactly like what a good luchador or lucha libre match, quote unquote, should be to the people that complained about lucha libre being fake and all that shit. It was awesome.
I was
That
totally enthralled.
that is absolutely how you sell the pay-per-view for your second company. It's like, oh, here's this amazing person that you've never seen. Oh, you want to see him again? Oh, you got to pay next time.
And he's fighting
It's
Commander.
yes, and it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, I featured both of these two people in the last month. Now you
on my
get them on
TV.
pay-per-view. Give me money, and I'm
Yeah,
like, okay, here it is. Here's my money because I'm gonna be there, and it's gonna be like, I don't know. I don't think he can me anymore because this dude is like,
No, man,
I'm
he
like,
got
oh, he
more.
can.
He's
he
got
He
got
more in
can.
the
more. He
bag.
There,
got
there,
more.
He did.
there is
He did.
more.
And the thing is, I don't think he didn't even show the entire bag, which is crazy.
Right,
Yeah.
Like
right.
some
Like
of
they're
the
actually,
other stuff I've seen in
I'm not
AAA,
joking.
like
There actually is an inverted 630 that he has in his bag.
there's like a
Wow.
lot of like spinning like to the outside of the ring things that he does that are just like, all right, man, what are we doing here, man? Like,
Like he'll
and
jump off anything. He don't give a fuck.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
I'm
he
of this
he showed
opinion.
probably like 60% of the bag, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
doing like the, jump or springboard to over the top, catch the middle rope, um, what do you call it? Phoenix splash stuff. Like, yeah, he's very creative. Very creative. You're gonna see like you're not gonna run out of things on him unless like you've seen like 100 or like 20 matches of his. Like there's that much stuff he's done that I've seen just from gifts alone, let alone some of the few matches I've seen in him in Mexico. He's incredible. Like the thing with him is like Is everything 100% perfect? No, but like
The degree of
all the crazy
difficulty
shit
is
he
so high.
tries,
You're
his
like,
his hit percentage is incredible for the amount of shit he tries.
Yeah.
yeah. That's why I was like the degree of difficulty on his moves. I'm gonna give you the benefit of doubt because you're not supposed to be able to do it. Like
Yeah,
he does. He did like 3 moves in a
right.
row where I was like, I think he's the only person that can do that move. And I was like,
Right.
I'm like, you're like, it was like, it'd be great if you could, it'd be like, oh, there's going to be some copycat Vikingos. Like, no, they're going to die,
They're gonna
unfortunately.
try.
Yeah, I'm
They're
like,
gonna try.
they can't do that. They're going to land on their head, and I'm going to feel really bad for them. So, no, that match, as a person that was experiencing Vikingo for the first time,
Mhm.
it was like, yet take my money. It was like, oh, he wasn't on my WrestleCon list. He's now on my WrestleCon list for people to meet. I'm like, I'm a fan, and I
Yeah,
imagine a little kid watching it.
right.
He made a bunch of fans that night because
Right, like for
man,
for a while now, I've wanted like my one of my dream matches is like I kind of think of like my favorite wrestlers as far as things they do, and like I've wanted a Ray Phoenix Vikingo singles big match for a long time, and like when that happens,
Yeah,
Vince
man.
Carter, it's over.
Yeah,
It's
I was
over.
I was waiting on this one obviously since like 2021, and it was like,
Right.
what else can you say? Like, incredible
Oh,
match, and it's like, and
I
it's
got
just,
more to say.
it's just like, yo, like the amount of pressure that was on them to live up
Yes.
to the dream match and all the bullshit discourse, and the match drew very well, which is a
Yep.
big giant L for a couple of folks that were online, but thanks for the indirect promotion. I'd imagine, but this was just like this was sensational, and like it's almost just like I don't have enough adjectives to describe it. It's just like this is excellence. Like this is AEW. Like this is what the shit is. Like this is like when I thought of this promotion. Like these are the type of things that I was thinking of. So very happy about that.
dude, if
Set
you
up the
have
rematch in Mexico.
if you have two excellent wrestlers, I know there was the story people out there. I'm like, you got two excellent wrestlers to put on a match. The match is the story. I want to win.
Yeah,
That's the story. That's it.
that is
You're like
always the story.
the story. You got two people. I want to win. I want to beat that guy. I don't know why people have decided that you need a year's worth of build up on every match that you have. It's just like 1, 2, 3
I
submission.
can
That's the story.
I have some like guesses on why that is, because like they grew up on a type of wrestling where like the matches that aren't like billed as having a story behind them are the matches you're not supposed to care about unless they do something that absolutely floors you. So like I think that's kind of the thought process is like they've been watching North American Pro Wrestling be like, hey, we got Juventud, we got Rey Mysterio, we got Psychosis, we got Eddie Guerrero, and they're tearing down these undercards, and we got Benoit somewhere in the mid card in Jericho doing interesting things, but like the only thing that matters is like what's going on with Sting and what's going on with the NWO, or what's going on with Goldberg, or what's going on with Ric Flair. And I think that is, and also on the other side, like what's going on with Undertaker and the Ministry of Darkness, or I'm sorry, the Corporate Ministry, or the McMahons, or Austin, or Rock. So like I see why they, if it doesn't have a story, it doesn't mean it's important, but in certain cases I get the perspective on this, but this one is like the draw is, if you've ever heard of Vikingo, you've seen some of his work via gifs, via video, what have you, and you know that he can do incredible things, and you know that Kenny Omega is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, and he's still in his athletic prime, or he's not past athletic prime. Can you just imagine what could happen? And then people started to shit on it because it doesn't have a story. It's like, the story is you're going to see a laser light show, you fucking dorks.
Yeah, or they just called it a dream match, and it just like sent people up the wall. Like
Maybe that's what it is too.
And then the 5-star rating came out, and then all the same people were they couldn't resist bringing up Shawn Michaels and the Undertaker and all this
Here-
shit.
here's
like,
my question,
it's
right?
Just, it's,
Here-
it's every
here-
time, bro. Every time.
Here's my question, right? When someone does a dream match thing and they want to know what the story is, right? Think of all the times WWE has booked some match that you could consider a dream match for WrestleMania, and then the story is the drizzling shits, and you're like, hey man, maybe you should not just not get that shit out the way. Like, think about this, right? If they actually did have pulled the trigger on Sting versus Undertaker, what the fuck was the story going to be about that you would have cared about outside just seeing them in the ring together?
It would have been the
Would it have
same
made it
shit.
better? Would it
Like-
make you care more? No.
Like you saw the story between Triple H and Sting, like
Right.
for not
Oh,
a
he's
dream
vigilante.
match.
Wait, no, he's not. Oh, he's here to avenge the WCW. But wait, no, he's not. Now he's trying to like, be the guy that's trying to stop another evil regime that he failed with WCW. And it's like, and then he comes out and at the end of the story, he gets hit with a fucking sledgehammer, shakes the dude's hand. That's a terrible fucking story.
Thank God.
Fun
Tony
match,
Khan-
terrible story.
Thank God Tony Khan came in
Yeah,
and
okay,
showed how to book
okay,
Sting. Good God. Oh
Man, yeah,
Yeah.
that WrestleMania 31 hurt my feelings.
Also, another
Right,
prime example,
that
another
match,
prime example of Sting since 2005. Never missing. He hasn't missed in almost a decade, Rich.
So we have obviously the
Oh, one thing
WrestleMania
I want to
stuff.
give shout out to Kenny Omega.
I mean,
Incredible
dude,
work as doing like doing the thing of I'm letting the dude do all as much shit as he possibly can. I'm trying to make him be the focus of attention, and I'll win at the end. Like, he did a great job of bumping and basing for all that stuff and selling his ass off for all that incredible stuff, and like just a great job, just incredible, underrated like thing. People want to talk about Vikingo for the next decade because of the stuff he did in that match, but like that stuff cannot get done without the stuff Kenny Omega put over in that match, and he did not have to do it for a dude that he's that much bigger than. He did not.
The
And I
size
mean
difference
no,
was notable.
I mean that in more than one way too. I'm talking about stature and also like
Yeah.
and also recognition. Yes,
he got him over on an American audience,
Right.
and it's just like in a loss, no one's talking about who won that match.
right.
No one's talking about who won that match. That's how it's supposed to work. That is how you get someone over in a loss. You don't have them singing with Tyson Fury after the match or whatever. That's not how you get someone over in a loss. How today is how that Wednesday was how you get someone over in a loss.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.